with Hi, I am Lisa Schmitz, host of Do Something Indy, and I have a very special guest with us this time for our very first show of 2022. But Charles Johnson is not a stranger to the show. He actually appeared on episode 7 with my husband Johnny. And I would encourage all of you to go out and watch that show because then it's going to help our conversation make a little bit more sense, don't you think?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yeah. Okay, so Charles is a friend of ours from Mars Hill, and we happen to be sitting in the Mars Hill Art Center that John and I opened a little over 3 years ago. And we bought this building in 2015. And when we were renovating this building, we met Charles.
Yes.
And that would have been at the very beginning, so 2015. So tell me about how you feel about that.
Well, and I would ask you a question with a question. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but at the time, I thought it was pretty ironic. As you'll go back and see in the other segment, the perfect 7 number, as we heard in church today, right?
Yeah.
That was a perfect number in the Bible. But it was really weird for me. I was out of my mind, to say the least. And it was just a blessing. Everything in journeys has layers and levels to, so this was just a spot, a point of beginning or entry into a relationship.
And I have to say, when we were cleaning out this building, and there were a few days that I was here by myself taking out the trash, and I would see you riding a bike up and down the alley. And, without getting into a full blown description, I can say that seeing Charles sitting here today and thinking about Charles back in 2015 are polar opposites, like greater than night and day difference. And so tell me what you think that means to you. Like, what can you attribute to such a drastic change, and maybe share a little bit about where you were back then?
Well, you ask me these questions and I start to get emotional because it's nothing short of a blessing. I'm going to have to tell you that I didn't do nothing, you didn't do nothing. We all crossed paths because God had us to cross paths. I had a very strong drug addiction cycle of self-destructive mechanisms going on with me, and you would have to give praise and glory to God because it wasn't on my own doings. I prayed for some things to happen, just to be blunt and honest with you, and started receiving them, started getting my prayers answered. And, and that's why I brought up even this morning, we went to church. 2021, and I'm glad you said this is the first show of 2022 because I'm done with 2021. Okay?
Aren't we all?
Yeah, man. I mean, let's just put it in our review mirror
Yeah.
and let's go forward. You spoke about 5 years ago. I'm more thinking about where we're going to be 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I just have that way about me. I can't stand it. I say to be patient, but my Lord, I'm ready to get there right now. You know what I mean? I can't help it because and there's nothing short of the glory to God. The praise goes to Him. It's not me. I'm just one of His people that's supposed to say at the end of the day that if you stay in your faith and you've been through enough pain, you get persistent, like we said before, and these things start to happen.
Yeah.
So, I cannot go back to my old ways, you know what I mean? I'm not going to. I really like what I see and what things have been happening for me, and I'm excited to see where it might lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One day. So that's it in a nutshell for me.
So when we met, and you were riding that bike up and down the alley, from that visual of Charles to what you guys see here today, two completely different people. And I want to speak a little bit to your name as well, because you've referenced your faith, you've referenced your gratitude to God for getting you through some really tough times. But when we met you, you were Bart Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know you as Charles Johnson.
It still happens at work a lot too.
Yeah.
We got radio communications and the Bart. So my brother's he's with it now.
Yeah.
Pete, I love him very much. Thank you. And Bart. So what I do now is I won't answer. You know what I mean? I won't answer.
Yeah.
I'll just sit there.
Because that's not
and
who
hurt
you
him.
are.
Yeah, and I'm like, hey, listen, guys. If I'm acting like the old me, then
Yeah.
you call me Bart.
Yeah.
It'll register to me, hey, get out of that.
Yeah.
Get out of whatever you're involved in your mind. And
Yeah.
get over here where Charles is supposed to be positive. And, it is Charles Barton Johnson. I did go by Bart a lot, but...
So Charles is your name, but that's
Yes.
not what you went by most of your life. And
No.
so then with this transformation, you made a conscious decision.
Well, it's very formal. It's more
Yeah.
formal, and it's probably a little safer to go by that name, if
Yeah.
I could say that. I don't know why I would say that, but...
We are in Mars Hill.
Yeah, right. I don't. Maybe it's the nose and ears. I don't know. I'm just going to say.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why, but it's okay to be Charles now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. Mm-hmm.
So what does do something Indy mean to Charles? And then I'm gonna add on to that a little bit too. What do you think do something Indy meant to Bart before Charles took over?
Well, I didn't really know, to be honest with you. And I'm still questioning that a lot as well. What does it mean now? Well, what do I mean now? What is it going to mean in 3 or 4 years? We don't know. What did it mean 2 years ago when we were campaigning, doing other things? Well, I think it means being obedient, doing something for your community, doing the right thing when you, let's quote, think nobody's looking.
Yeah.
If God has an intervention with you, He's always going to watch what you do with it.
Yeah.
So, being obedient is supposed to be being obedient when nobody's looking. But I say being obedient means doing the right thing when you think nobody's looking. That's right. Because God, if He intervenes with you, He watches what you do with it. And you're supposed to be willing to do the next right thing.
Yeah.
So no matter what, I'm not saying that a lot of wrong has happened, but there is evil impressions everywhere. You know what I mean? It seems like if there was people that wish bad things on people, even part of a journey would say that, guess what? Your evilness is going to outweigh goodness. This good energy is going to be able to prevail. For me, do something Indy means willing to do something in Indy. It means doing something special, doing something for humanity, doing something to serve people, helping people out. I guess it's like I say for the Bible is loving one another, serving people, caring about your neighbor. I have a very good looking neighbor. I was like, love thy neighbor. I'm just pretty sure that wasn't what it meant. So, I'm just saying being kind. You know
You're
what I
being
mean?
real, Charles.
I know, I'm sorry. But I'm just saying,
okay.
Forgive me, okay? I'm just saying being kind, being
Yeah.
nice, being a steward of love and faith that says, you're a good person
Yeah.
with no strings attached. You don't owe nobody nothing. You know what I mean? Just to do a random act of kindness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And That's what kind of all this seems like. You know what I mean? That this is just very overwhelming. You know, People Are Peace is a work of arts. You know, and it's with the quitting the drugs and the do something indie. And I wanted to do something in the indie show,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing. We are all God's children. We're all related. I don't care if you're reverse discriminated or you're in any kind of evil impression of stuff. We're in the land of the free in America. Better together.
Yeah.
Everybody has to get over this past. They have to reset in our country and in America to where what? People can work together for the goodness of people.
Yeah.
Not just do something indie, do something America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because this is a beautiful land. It's beautiful, and we're ruining it.
Yeah. Well, and you've overcome a lot. So in the years that we've been here since 2015 and seeing that, polar opposite of Bart versus Charles, I can say that, if we just moved here to open the art center just to have you in our lives, then mission accomplished, right? That we have done what we set out to do. Mm-hmm. But what we are grateful for is that you have become a friend and an ally and a team member, and Charles sits on our board as well, to help us to inspire other people within Mars Hill to be involved and to do things and to not just complain about things and things like that. So it starts right here at home and right in our own backyard, but then has grown even beyond that. And we can thank you for helping us with that. And who would have thought, seeing you ride a bike up and down the alley back in 2015, we would be sitting here having the second conversation that you've had with Do Something Indie and just kind of sharing your story.
You know what they say, a third time's charm. Hey, I want to say that I don't know how you guys...
And there's the clock.
Yeah, I guess I better cut it short.
No,
not at all. Yeah. Hang on a second. There we go.
There, it's good.
I wonder what you guys would have thought if the Lord asked you in some kind of spirit or that when we met, I couldn't imagine what John perhaps, the corner of his eye, I didn't recall and seeing later, because I remember the whole process, even the auctioning and everything, and out back, if you will, working with Felix and Bonda. Mm-hmm. This guy's loco. You know what I mean? This is mucho
loco.
Well, a lot of times this is a defense mechanism too, Lisa.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... you would place yourself trying to protect and see what goes on a lot around town and go to some places that often other people would not go. You know what I mean? And having, it's just the same thing as anything else. What saves you is you have compassion and you care and you communicate with these people, even in the worst days. And when you're around those types of people, they couldn't do it. They care. The human element of things transpire and evolve into having a lot of compassion, and that's just through the love. And that's what I said about the book, what I'm hearing, because I can't read it very well and have comprehension, but everything I'm hearing goes back to loving and treating people how you want to be treated and being kind to them and being an offer and a steward of the Lord, to be able to serve a kingdom, to be able to witness of how great His grace and mercy is when you didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I often wonder too what you guys thought, or did you ever think it would go this far? And did you ever think that someone often might do a 180 and then go right back in another 180 is the way they come from?
I want to give you an answer on that. We wouldn't have come here if we hadn't thought that was a possibility.
Well,
so John and I both had hope that God would put the right people in our paths to either be able to serve or for them to come alongside and serve with us or what have you. We really prayed that would be the case. And so I think, that's why we're so grateful for you, because we feel like that definitely was a divine intervention type of moment. And I would call you if I had a flat tire. I mean, I trust you enough to call you if I am in a bad way somehow,
Yep.
And so, and I know John feels the same way. And, I think about you also kind of taking Richard's place. Richard would bring me like little old things, and he just got to know me so well. He knew that I loved all this little old trinkety stuff, and you've done the same thing. And so I kind of feel like you filled his shoes, and you filled that void when he was gone. So so we're really grateful. So
John go, pew, that stinks. Where'd you get that at? No, a little pew for the kids, right? I'm like, so that was my bad dad joke today.
The pew that's sitting in the meeting room right now.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you too. So we just started moving out of all of our storage stuff that had been in the back for the longest time, and we were talking before we got on air about going through all the boxes and everything. So one of the things that I found was a cross stitch that had been in the bathroom, the spare bathroom at our old house, that you've never seen. And if I had had the forethought to think about us having this conversation, I would have grabbed it because it's right out there on the table. But it says, live in such a way that should anyone speak badly of you, no one would believe it.
Well, it just depends what day it is. And we are human. But
that's true.
That's part of it.
But still, and that's what you were getting at.
I'm trying. If you, and that's what I say, I have all my teeth. I'm blessed with doing things that people said you couldn't do, overcoming mental and physical things to where I filed disability. I wasn't supposed to be able to go back to work. We're talking about a 30-year drug use. Maybe 20 years severely. So, anytime you pray to get rid of the desire to even do drugs, I have. It's probably not, I wouldn't recommend it to nobody, but I went back to some of them houses and talked to some of the people. Went in there and, and talked about Paul to some of these people. Had been in bad situations throughout this time and ended up, Saul being Paul. You know what I mean? That no matter what you do, he still can use you. You woke up today, you have opportunity. Look, just put your best foot forward. And this substance was around. And, they're like, hey, don't blow that towards him. And I'm like, listen, man, I'm good. You have to understand that I am good. I tested myself even, and I can tell you what, it's nothing short of a miracle through having faith that it ain't been easy. It ain't been easy. So I like the 2021, Lisa, I want to say, you guys know, I've been around, we've been tested. I've been tested. Who does that and where they do that at? There's a lot of things I say that just don't make sense. These litmus tests, let's see what happens. Well, if you get pushed into a corner, you're going to defend your family. You're going to defend yourself in a manner that you have to. You know what I mean? You're allowed to protect and provide. So I'm like, listen, why can't we put some litmus tests out there on the positive side of town? Because I thought, you know what? Who's weirder sometimes in 2021? I've made some mistakes. I've prayed about it. I've asked for forgiveness. And you know what? He's forgiven me. I know it because I have that faith. That's why Jesus died on that cross for our sins. So look, and rose on the third day. So here's what I'm going to say, that why can't we put out some good positive litmus tests? Let's go fishing and let's see if you don't have to, shake the worm in the hook. Let's see if he don't, you know what I mean? Let's see if he does something more positive with a good situation. See where that can go. Instead of, I thought, you know what? Who am I? Who are these people anyway? Not that they're just evil. So guess what? Am I weird for being human, falling short to the glory of God? No. Who's weirder, them or me? They're watching, waiting, and listening for me to make a mistake. Well, they can't pass those tests neither. And I'm just like, listen, can't in 2021 go? Can't this be a new year of positive things? And let's see what happens on the good side of town. Let's clear our conscience. By the way, Superior, I work for downtown. We are building a highway. Their motto is family first. This family thing for me, I've been criticized, but I've been trying to love my kids. I smoked pot for a while, been in a lot of hypocritical situations for wanting better out of them. But I backed up. I'm trying to be still, be patient. I'm trying to wait for things to progress on their own. Plant some seeds of encouragement. Trying to have my house be in the house of the Lord and being obedient to that. But let's face it, it's a tough world out there right now. To be a kid and it'd be cool to be against your parents and rebellion and what this. I think, Lisa, I had a Indy, do something, Indy. You want to know what that means to me? That means like in the church, when you fast,
Yeah.
guess what? Fast from the cell phone, fast from the TV, fast from anything negative in your home to get these kids to watch.
Yeah.
Then we're going to starve that network out of, this mainstream media and this entertainment, the badness of it all. Guess what? If they spend $60 million on a film that's crap and nobody goes watching it, they're not going to make another one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's people's choices. And I think fasting should be fasting from evil and negativity. I'm trying to do that in my life.
Yeah.
I'm human. I like what I like. And I want some opportunities for some successful ventures in 2022. John, like you said, I have to think he's a blessing because he's heard me rant. I'm calling on that phone. And he's like, oh, man, hey, guess what? Oh, hey, here, plug a air compressor in. He's like, get this guy off the line. You know what I mean? Flip the switch and turn it on real quick.
No, I
know,
think
right?
what he appreciates about you is that your heart is in it and you want more. And you want more not just for yourself, but for our community. That's one of the things that I love about you so much is that you care so much about Mars Hill. This is where you've lived the majority of your life. And we learned a lot about this community through you. Even though, we knew what we were getting into, but having someone who is on our side, who understands this neighborhood, who understands the families and the dynamics and all that has just been really helpful to us. And kind of like Pastor Paul said today, Jesus got in there right next to everyone that he was serving and put himself into those communities. So that's what we've been trying to do. And you've been gracious enough to let us do that in what is your neighborhood. So we've been able to learn a lot from you.
I want to have the opportunity in front of people to apologize to my Father God, because he had me in programming when I got in trouble to be able to obtain the word as it's written and be able to serve the people. When you said this neighborhood and do something, Indy, it all comes together that I'm supposed to come back to this neighborhood and talk to people and give them the word, but I do not have comprehension of it. I hadn't studied. My family's took so much of my energy, and just going to work every day and trying not to get in trouble has been the biggest challenge for me in 2021. So if I can get my kids in a place to be self-sufficient, guess what? Then now I can go to a seminary school. I can do what I want because that's my calling. He didn't save me just for no good reason.
Yeah.
He saved me because he wants me to do something.
Yeah.
He wants me to do something in Indy. And whether all the boo birds out there don't like it or not, guess what? It's not their choice. This is not their country.
Yeah.
It's not their land. This is God's country.
Yeah.
And if it's in his will, it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like Paul said, you're supposed to be the salt of the earth. Well, I want to. I know my mission. I know what it is. I know what I'm supposed to achieve. I'm supposed to not hate these people in this neighborhood for what they're doing because they're no different than me.
Yeah.
And if they can get up and when I was downtown, the homeless people are starving. They're out here trying to make a way. They're cold. They won't go in the mission because of the conditions and circumstances, situation with those people, those places doing these things. They don't want to be there. So they're survivors.
Yeah.
And they get woke up every day to do something different.
Yeah.
And as I need a Kleenex, sorry. And I just
Sorry.
believe that it takes a real person that's been on the street, that's been through it. And, like I grew up a screw up because of my choices. And I know there's a scripture about it. When I was done being a screw up, I started to grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know there's scriptures. I'm at work, I'm talking with people, and what I say, they refer to the Bible. Mm-hmm. They're working alongside of me. And I'm like, listen, and John's done it as well. It happens all the time. Now, if I could come to a place where I can make it make sense and get the facts behind it, because you don't want to try to become somebody to try to help somebody who don't have the answers and tell them where to look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm a librarian, I want to tell them through the Dewey Decimal System or whatever, the car catalog, where to go get your book.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We need to have it written on our hearts so
Yeah,
that we can
so
articulate it to other people.
I know that's my main purpose and that's my mission as a life's journey. Being very patient, it's hard, but I know he's put it on my heart. I've had dreams about it over and over. He wants me to preach the word.
Yeah.
Period. And I know it's just hard. So, I hope to be able to get this information, whether I just got to leave everything I know. By then for a lot of these people it'll be too late, because
It's never too late.
well, they're, you could be too early, but you can't be too late.
Yeah.
But you don't want to fake it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't want to fake it to people.
Yeah.
These guys are hard acts to follow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But somebody that can speak to people, they can relate to,
Well, your trauma becomes your testimony.
well, and it is, but you want to have it, and I want to be able to do right. And my heart still, let's just face it, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's very, very hard to become, and I know you'll say different, but to become something someone would want to be around, to be desirable, to know that, I hear this referred to a lot. If you get into communication, relationship with people, kiss me when you're mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
When you've been through and seen, not everything's for everybody. Yeah, you've learned a lot about things, but there's a lot of things that I'll just take to my grave with me that a lot of people don't need to know about. But been a blessing. It's been a blessing to help women and some children along the journey, along the way. If I was a person of real deviant mannerism and conduct, I'd have a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of cars hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of stuff. But, Lisa, man, it was like I had on my head for a long time, follow me, I'm lost.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And perhaps maybe they did. I don't know.
You're not lost now.
No,
You're
definitely
not
not
lost
lost now. But yeah, I just wanted to be able to say to the good Lord, sorry, I didn't get the information when I should have. But timing's critical.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the next 5 years, and I wanted to say this, that I think the impression of politics, because to do something in Indy is kind of a starter for a politic thing for me.
That's how it
And
started.
we know some people that does this
Yeah.
stuff. Okay, so I think gang, Democrat, Republican, red and blue, I think when they combine the two and they're better together, and the pivot point, their basis on the foundation of a fulcrum point would be a Bible.
Yeah.
And it would give you leverage, and when you combine red and blue together, you get purple.
Yep.
So if we could make America great again, you would have to make God great again.
Yeah.
And this is the only way to get the right balance.
Yeah.
And I come up with a funny thing, and I don't know what it would mean and why I would want to say it, but having balance and working for me with my kids, my job, trying not to get in trouble, is the variables. The variables for me, this is my formula. My formula is you can't do an algebraic equation if you can't do simple mathematics.
Mm-hmm.
What don't add to you takes away from you. And if you're divided through our media and everything else, you can't multiply and manifest.
Yeah.
So to have the total equation of life and have balance, you're trying to figure these things out in a way that would be beneficial to people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That would be a blessing. And I think there's a lot of people in all the land that needs to learn a lot about people and life and loving one another. And I think there's some whole big lessons to learn one day that I just don't even know where it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much amazed right now, but I know this. We did this, we've done this, and our best is probably yet to come, right?
It is.
It really is.
It
I mean,
is.
There's some things that need to be talked about.
And I think that is a great way to end our show. You wrapped it up so nicely, and you said timing is everything, and I knew the clock was about to go off again.
Yeah.
So, but no, perfect timing, and yeah, gosh, we are just so grateful for you, Charles.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So go back and watch episode 7. It's going to help make this conversation mean a lot more and maybe make a little bit more sense. But Charles is definitely living Do Something Indy. He helped us get it started and has helped us kind of continue that. It might have started politically, but now it's turned into just trying to inspire people to do things in their own communities, and then maybe even being brave enough to branch out into an even larger community. So thank you guys so much for watching. This is our first show of 2022, and more to come.